am I in trouble? Oh, they're all yelling at me.
Huge
I don't know.
trouble.
Huge trouble. I have a good reason. Be nice to me, please. My
Mm.
reason is I'm recording. I was doing a recording and I had 6 videos and I had one to do, and then I could be completely finished. And I did it. I took the I'm going hard, like the going hard. Anyway, I did it. So then I made everyone else, well, I made Jess have a kitten and Simon have a litter of kittens, but we're here. So today's topic, first in the chat, everybody, thank you for being here. I see some people in the room that I growled at and made come. I said, listen, you get into my meeting room every week. So I've done a few smacks and it's worked. So I'm so impressed. Thank you for showing up at this time slot. So in the chat, everybody, what are you feeling out of 10? Really important. It helps us to help you. So put in the chat, no explanation needed. What are you feeling out of 10? Be honest. Don't try and impress me with, oh, I'm a 10, because that's not true. Be honest, right? And then you can just forget about it. But it helps me to help you. If we can see that the consistency is there, or there's a bit of this going on, which is pretty normal, we know that after a period of time, when you do the work, you get more consistent. So that's it. All right. Oh, very accurate, Warwick. Very accurate. So, what I wanted to teach you today is the start of the month when we would normally be doing your 2 post-it notes, or one personal and one health for the month. I don't want to do that today, right? We did a lot yesterday, and if you didn't come yesterday, why? Anyway, that's a story for another day. But we did this. I think it was a really good training yesterday, and some of the faces that were here. It's interesting, the ones that came to the training yesterday, the ones who's made the most progress. Isn't that interesting, right? The ones that show up and do the work get the most progress. And there's some of you who are not showing up and not doing the work, and it's time to be honest as to why aren't you? Why are you not where you want to be? And the truth is always that you're not committing, the same as, not getting the results anywhere. If you're not getting the results with your training, or not getting the results with your eating, or you're not getting the results with your team members, it's because you start skipping the one-on-ones, or you start cutting corners, and then you just don't get the results. You have to do the one-on-ones. Oh, Simon made me a coffee. I'm very impressed. I thought he would never talk to me for the day, but he made me a coffee. So he everybody should have a Simon. He's a ripper. So what you got to do is you got to ask yourself, well, why aren't I where I want to be? Why? Why aren't I where I want to be? Why am I still struggling with this team member after all this time? Why? And you have to sit with that, right? And whether you write it down, or you draw it, or you do a voicemail, it doesn't matter, but you've got to sit with a problem long enough. And I think part of our challenge is we skim over it because our personalities are designed to skim over it, because that's what we do. A client comes into us and she's got something wrong, and we go, that's okay, we can fix it. And we've got this Pollyanna, happy little face going on. And you have to have that. Not saying you don't, but there has to be a time when you go, okay, stop. Let's get real, right? Let's get real and let's find out why. Why are you still here? You might have made some progress, but let's get real about why you made some progress, right? The amount of conversations that I've had with salon owners when they've been in my program for 6 months, and then I ask them what growth they've had and that, and they tell me, and then I go, well, what else could you do? Or why are you not showing up to the Zooms? Or why are you not in the portal? I can't, but Simon could tell me exactly how many hours and how many times you've clicked into the trainings. So if you want me to tell you, I can tell you, but I don't think I need to. You know, right? You know that the trainings are in there. And when you have people that do the things, they get the results. That's easy. When you have people who reach out to me and ask me questions, they get the results, right? It's like a salon coming into you and saying, yep, that's fine. Do all my skin needling and everything, but I'm not going to use your products. And you'd think, how are you going to get the results? Like, it's just so simple to you. And the same as hair. They come in and they give you $200, $300, $400 to color their hair, and then they go and put shit shampoo on it. How's that working for you, Betty? It's not, right? And that's the same with us. If you're not leaning in and doing the work here, it's because something or someone is taking up your time. The something might be too many clients, and I'd say it'd be too many floor hours, but it might be your teenage children. Could be something else. And it might be something you can't. It might be your aging sick mother, maybe. It could be that you're renovating a salon and you're moving from A to B. There's things that you have to just accept, and there's other things that you have to go, no, I don't accept that. I don't accept that. So today's topic is called dumb tax. When have we been paying dumb tax? Someone did this for me years ago, and I thought, wow. And it was in a financial situation. And it said, have a look back over your life. When have you paid dumb tax? And the first thing I thought was, oh, that apartment that I bought in Queensland was dumb tax. I didn't do the research. I bought this apartment off the plan, and I just paid probably, I don't know, 100,000 too much for it. That's dumb tax, right? Another dumb tax is that I remember this particular girl that I kept in my salon business. She was so wobbly. She kept wanting to leave hairdressing and do something else, and I kept keeping her hairdressing. It was dumb tax, right? I kept going, and this is hard. You don't know whether you should push through and whether they're going to get past this, or whether you're getting them to be on your will, or whether they're on their own. And that's, look, write this down because it's an incredible book to listen to. There is a podcast, but let them. Mel Robbins, let them. Absolutely change your life. So when you let people show you their true behaviors, they show up as their true behavior, and then you let you make your decision about that behavior. But I know for me, I was the world champion at no, just do this. And I wanted things more than other people. That's dumb tax, right? Another dumb tax was I probably not falling in love with the wrong bloke. That was a dumb tax. Maybe that wasn't so much the dumb tax. I think moving in with him before I let the dust settle, like they say, if it's 2 years before somebody really shows their true colours, I should have waited a bit longer, and I would have went, yeah, you're not for me. Instead, I tried to fix it. It took me 10 years. That's a dumb tax, right? So I want you now to take a minute, and this is, you can write your big dumb tax, like buying the wrong property. You can, whatever, but I'm wanting you to think about what's the dumb tax that you've done in your business, right? Because if we don't look at your behaviours and then help us, the twins just laugh, so something obviously came up for them. What's your dumb tax? What have you paid taxes on, which was just dumb? Dumb, why did I do that, right? So we might have a bit of thinking music. Might have been hanging on. I had another conversation with a girl yesterday who hung on to a team member for 9 months. I said, yeah, mostly that's what happens. You're pregnant with a team member. When you don't have any skill, you generally keep a team member that you know wasn't suitable, but for some reason you're trying to massage her into that, make her into that shape. Oh, no, this shape. This will be the good shape. That's dumb tax, right? Not being honest with yourself is dumb tax. So 1 minute, Simon, let's write down all our dumb taxes. I'm going to do mine. And you might even just go, what's the dumb tax that I paid for last year or in my whole salon career? What would be the dumb tax? A little bit louder, Simon. I can't hardly hear. A little bit longer, Simon, because they're still writing, which makes me think they're thinking of.
Did you want the A to K of dumb taxes or the L to Z, both volumes, or just the one volume?
We're speaking about you, I presume, not me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the yellow pages.
Stop it. Well, narrow it down to the top two, dickhead. Okay. Well, interesting exercise, yes or no? Yep. Yeah, interesting exercise. You can't go forward until you look back. I just know that for sure. And I think that the main reason is we want to try and avoid those things. I'm not saying we can avoid dumb tax ever again, but I think when you understand that often we have a bit of a pattern, right? And when I think about the pattern that I had, so my dumb tax was not moving on Zing sooner than I did. So I had the coaching program, the Zing project, and I wasn't happy, right? And I didn't sit with that, and I didn't unpack why, right? Had I unpacked why, I would have come to the position I am in now, which is growing a new coaching program that really fills my soul. Like, to teach people to be healthy and kind is just like, I love it. It's fucking easy. I don't have to think I have to work. I just can't wait. I don't know what to do next, right? Should I teach them about how to put the diet? Will I do a post on putting the Diet Coke down? Or will I do a post on counting your salon numbers? Like, I don't know where to go. I'm that excited. Whereas when I had the Zing project, a lot of my work was about sorting out fires for other people, right? And there was a lot of reasons why it was harder for me in a franchise than it was when you had an employee. An employee is I think, much easier because you can let someone go. But when someone's entered into a structure and a financial, a franchise, it's different. But that was the bullshit story I told myself as to why I couldn't fix it, right? So that was the dumb tax, right? I believed that there was something holding me from being who I wanted to be and saying what I wanted to say. So my dumb tax was that story, right? That story was, well, I'm kind of stuck with this situation. That was the dumb tax. The other dumb tax was when I came off the salon floor all those years ago and coached the coaches. I loved coaching the coaches, but I should have kept coaching as well. Right. So that was my dumb tax. I should have kept coaching in some way, even if it was just coaching, just the numbers and the health check. But I love this shit. This lights me up. So, and I think sometimes when people come off the floor in their business, they miss that bit. They miss that. I really love looking after my clients. Right. So we've got to be a bit mindful that if we pull your hours back, that we don't like, and if you want to get completely off the floor, that's up to you. But I think my dumb tax was all or nothing. And that's pretty much the story of my life, right? I do it all and I don't pendulum swing, right? I'm pretty black and white, let's be honest. I'm trying to be grey, but I'm pretty black and white. That's wrong. Get rid of it. Right. We're not doing that. We need to do that. And we need to do it. And we just need to do that much, right? So instead of going out, that's gone. Maybe don't all go out, right? So my dumb tax, I think, is being proportionate. Make sense? Right? I think it's about managing instead of going, right, that's what I need, and going full steam ahead. Because when you go full steam ahead with something, generally you're neglecting something else. True or not true? Right? So my dumb tax has been not sitting with me and thinking about what I need. My dumb tax has been, that's what that needs, that's what she needs, that's what the program needs, that's what that needs, that's what the coaches need. What do I need? That was my dumb tax. right? And so not until I had a mental meltdown that I really started to think about, what do I need? And I'd like you to think about that today. What do you need? Because everyone's going to tell you what they think you need. But my dumb tax has been not sitting with and journaling or meditating on or whatever to find out, what do I really want? Testing a bit. Do I really want that? Testing it a bit. Do I really want that? Make sense? Does anybody want to share their dumb tax? I'd love to help you. I should make you all share because it's really important. When you share, good on you, Jenna Pin, love her. When you share, it really helps someone else, right? Unmute yourself, gorgeous girl.
My dumb tax last year was doing the Salon mentor program and not doing it properly.
Gold. She's the favourite. Top of the chart. Now, can I tell you something about Jenna Pin? Jenna Pin is the only person I've ever come across whose retail is fucking off the chart every week. Amazing. She's a hairdresser and she sells more products than a beauty therapist can. So, yes, that's true. And another problem with Jenna is she's really good at making money. So, not that big a problem. The problem with Jenna is Jenna didn't look after Jenna. And so that's been her dumb tax. So she was one of the girls that I had a chat to this week and gave a bit of one of those. And I said, you move those clients and you get in my room. And she's here today. So, where's the thing button? Hang on, I've got to do a react button. Hang on, people. So there. So happy. So happy. Right? She listened to me. But I had to capture her and get her in a headlock and go, Jenna, enough already, right? Absolute gold, right? So I think we're all guilty of that. And that was me. I did exactly what Jenna was doing with my coaching program. I'd go to some of his meetings and not all of them. Hello? So how could I be even cross at you? I do that shit too. So at least you're in good company. And I made a decision that I would not do it, that everything else can go no. I'm going to the meetings. Doesn't matter that I listen to people who are making millions and millions of dollars, and sometimes I walk away feeling like, I'm this tiny little mouse in the corner that's got one broken leg and half its fur missing compared to the people in that room. I think bad luck. I'm with the people I should be with to learn the things I need to learn. So well done. Thanks. Anybody else got some dumb tax they want to share? Jess, what's your dumb tax? Oh, she'll go, what the hell? What's your dumb tax, Jessica Rabbit? And then Simon, you're next.
I didn't really do it, but not listening to my body and keep pushing through. And now I'm in a mess because of it.
Yeah. I think we've been guilty of that one, haven't we? Yeah, not me. I don't do that. I do absolutely listen. Not listening to your body. Well, there's something else I was thinking of you. Oh, she said yesterday to me, Jess, she said she's decided to not make the I just don't have time. She's not saying that anymore. Because really, if you don't have time, means you're not prioritizing things, right? Or you're doing dumb shit or whatever, but you have 24 hours a day. So are you taking on too much? Maybe your boss is giving you too many jobs. Don't answer that, right? maybe you salon clients are too hard to catch and she has to go, hello. You don't respond maybe quick enough. That could be it too. Don't know. Probably not you guys. It's the ones that aren't in the room, let's be honest. But absolutely changing that one sentence to I don't have time is I'm going to prioritize the things that matter. But absolutely. What was your dumb tax? You didn't listen to your body. In what way, Jess? Like a sore back,
No, I kept pushing through. I kept training really, really hard for years and years and years, even though my body was screaming at me to slow down a bit. Yeah. I just thought, no, I just need to do more.
No, good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, boyfriend, this will be good. Hope I don't get outed in this.
My dumb
Let's
tax
pick-
was this morning when Lisa said, I just want to do this last video. I've got 3 minutes. I said, there's no way. I said, we need to be in that room early. She said, no, I'll be able to get it in. So there's a dumb tax that just.
No, I'm not taking that. That is about me. That
Okay.
is not. Your whole dumb tax for the year. You wish you're getting away from this. What is your dumb tax? I could give you A to K and L to Z, but I'm not going to. What was your one dumb tax? Maybe I'll do. If you don't know it, I'm coming back to you. Right.
I know what it is. It was not putting my health first last year, especially in the last quarter, because work was very stressful, and I internalized that. And yeah, well, not going to happen this year.
Good boy. Same as Jess, not listening to your body. Not listening to your body. Your body is so incredible at giving you signs. Like I just think your body's telling you something, you know, whether it's a cold sore or whether it's thrush, whether it's a sore back, whether it's something like eczema comes back up, doesn't it? You know, your skin breaks out. It's your body going, hello, hello. True or not true? Right? It can't get your attention. It can't speak. Your body can't speak. But what it does is it gets your attention and gut. My tummy, when I'm anxious about things, I just run to the toilet. Fascinating. And for me, I don't feel the stress, but my body does that to me. During COVID, mate, didn't matter what I ate, I could turn it into a vindaloo curry. Fascinating skill. And this last week, because I'm going back to Melbourne to pack up a house to sell, which is a huge life decision, I feel I'm handling it really well. I've been on the toilet all week. Fascinating. My body's like, that's how it gets my attention, because I'm really good at pushing my problems down. Really good. And I've been doing it my whole life. So and yesterday I was writing and doing some work, and I was mapping out the floor plan for the villa and everything. And I could hear my tummy so loud, churning and burgling, and I had to run to the toilet a few times. What's going on? Right? Who else has got dumb tax? You know I'm going to pick you all. Off you go, Emma. Good on you, Em. Love a sharer.
Sorry, I'm on my phone and I never use my phone, so I don't how to unmute. There we
Good,
go.
lovely girl. All good.
Mine is I will keep doing something even though I definitely don't want to do it just to please someone else. And I do that time and time again. So even if I might be paying for something and I don't want to do it anymore, I'll keep doing it because I feel bad. Um, yeah, that, and I repeat, like I do that all the time.
What's an example of something you keep paying for that
Maybe, let me think. Like I might keep getting a service with someone even though I'm not happy with it, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. Or if reps come, they can easily sell me stuff when I know I probably won't sell it. Things like that. I can't say no sometimes. I can say no in the workplace, but a little bit more outside of that in general life. I put other people's feelings first before mine, which is sort of, it's not a bad thing, but when I'm still doing something because I don't want to, then it becomes a problem.
So your homework is to actually name them, write a list of them, right? So the whole lot of them, write a list of them, because it's still a little bit foggy. And I think then, like I know a bloke, right? This is the bloke who taught me to write a book. He lived in Cairns, he's moved now. But when he lived in Cairns, he had a housekeeper that he had for, I don't know, 15 years or something. Right. And she was quite old and didn't do a very good job. So when she'd leave, she'd come every Wednesday. He'd paid another house cleaner to clean, but he couldn't get rid of that lady. He couldn't retire her because he'd had her for so long, and he was just a bit. So that's a classic example of you paying for something that you didn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably do that. I probably wouldn't pay someone else to come in as well. I'd just put up with it.
Wait, right? So I think that's a classic example. But and you say it doesn't really matter. No, it does matter. It does matter. So that's the
Yeah.
language I want you to change, that it doesn't really matter. No one's life depends on it. But if you do enough
No.
of those, I feel like that's another sign of not listening to my body. It's not listening to my voice. And that's where I got into trouble. I didn't listen to my voice. Simon and Jess didn't listen to their body. I listen to my body like a machine, but I don't listen to my voice. So this is another example. So this is 4 people. 2 of us are not listening to our voice and 2 of us are not listening to our bodies. So there's a bit of a pattern here. And the reason I wanted to do that is I thought, well, it's all right. We can go and put another post-it note of what we want to achieve. But if we don't realize what stops us, right, then we won't move. Okay. So when you think about the first one, Jenna, she said she made excuses and looked after a client in that time slot that she could have been here. And I told her off for it. Right? I said, this is why, even though you make good money, even though lots of things are wonderful, no one retails like she does, she still wasn't having her needs met. She was still feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, right? And doing too many hours. So there's always something stopping you from getting where you're going. And what I want you to be honest about is what's stopping you, right? So Liv, I want Liv and whoever's with Liv there, morning, lovely girl. I want you to think about what gets in your way so that you can say it. Like, what's the dumb tax? So really, it's just a fancy way of saying what did you pay for that you paid a tax on that you shouldn't have, right? Who's next? You can probably do everyone. Georgina's leaning in, her lovely red lipstick on. Then the twins, I know they're going to answer too.
I can share mine.
Good girl. What's your dumb tax, Georgina?
You're going to laugh at this one because it is exactly what our one-on-one was about a few weeks ago, back in, I think it was December. I kept a team member on for a little too long, and now that person has moved on, but I am cleaning up a little bit of the poison that has seeped out in that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think my current dumb tax, listening to everyone, is probably that I put all of my energy into this one task in my mind, and everything else around me just gets put underground. And then I turn around and go, oh, what happened here? So I'll have to work on that, I think.
Yeah, and that's probably like me. I go 100 miles an hour in one direction, and 80 miles an hour would be better. So it probably tells you you're a bit of an all or nothing person. And that's a good quality, though, because when you really want to get something done, all is a really good strategy. And I say this to people, if you've got a fire hose and or a garden hose and you've got 10 pot plants, then you give them all a little bit of water and you give them all a little bit of fertilizer and and that's a really good way to grow a whole garden. If you've got a sick plant, you probably need to focus on that one sick plant. So in your team, everybody needs a little bit of fertilizer, everybody needs a little bit of love. But if you give the same amount of attention to the person who's really not growing, then she's not going to grow the same. So we've got to be able to determine what needs 100% of our attention, and is that a really good result? And what I tend to find, there's someone on this call this morning who would say, oh, 100%, I've given way too much attention to this one team member, and I've got to stop that because she's never going to do it. She's never going to get there, and I'm giving all my attention to this team member, and then these really good team members are not getting any of my attention, right? And so you've got to be mindful of that too. So that's why sitting back in this meeting every week, it just goes, yeah, that's exactly me. So it just reminds you of where you are and how wonderful you are, that you can focus really well. Some people just can't do that, Georgia. So it's a good skill, but every good skill that we have will at some point bite us in the arse, right? So we've got to look at that and go, okay, that's a bit of a problem, or no, that's not a problem for me. So you giving everything 100% attention isn't a problem in some ways, but what we've got to do is, if you're going to make retail your 100% attention, well done, you're going to get the results. But if your rebooking drops off or whatever, then you've got to think, okay, so what's the system in place that means that rebooking won't drop off, and it'll be your health check. So having those little week meetings about it and just going, okay, talk to them about the numbers, because I find that all the time. You get them working on one thing, that change, and they turn around and goes, well, that dropped.
Mm.
You know, so it's a bit like, yeah, well done. Anybody else like to share? What about you, Liv? Do you want to share? Here she comes.
Sorry, by the time you find your unmute. Dumb tax was a little bit of self-doubt, so not allowing me to work on things, and because you're doubting yourself and your ability is one of them. I think not firing people that don't serve the business and just having the heart more than using the brain and the facts. And another thing just on my journey that I realized is, like, compared to when I bought the business, I just kind of wanted to have no one to answer to then learning and growing to wanting, do you know what I mean? Like the profit and all the things. And it's like, why are you really doing this? So not knowing my numbers a lot sooner. And just having now that understanding and how, I think, like, I wish I did that a lot sooner. I cared more about that a lot sooner, because I feel like I'd be in a different position. But that's okay. Lessons learned.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no point having any regret. But I say that to everybody, and I'm fascinated with the girls who come to me in the youngest part of their business. Some people come when they've been 20 years in business, and some people come before they start. You know, I've had a couple that have came before they started. I just think, wow, they're not unlearning and relearning, but just the fact that you did that and you admitted that. And there you've got, I don't know the girl beside you's name.
Melissa. This is Melissa. You haven't met her yet.
Hello, how are you?
Lovely girl. Melissa's going to be her right-hand girl, because Liv's having a baby in April, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Liv's having a
Mel's
baby.
pretty much buying half the salon, so going to be doing it together.
Yeah, so wonderful. So just being honest, and I think every one of these challenges could have been saved with you sitting with the problem. Journaling on the problem, making a meeting, you know, like Sam and Mal in the skin solution section here, they did the best year ever and sat down and made the time to do that. And they said it was amazing, but they sat down and did it, right? They're twin sisters who pass each other in the night like ships. Well, they used to, but now they make time to have discussions, because they're like A and B. One has an A solution, one has a B solution. So the solution is usually an A plus or a B minus. It's like in between. But if they don't make that time to discuss. So if I had one wish for you, Mal and Liv, do that, right? Never give away your one-on-ones, and make time to do it, right? Because it's really powerful. And if you're a one-person operator, like, have it with yourself. And the same as Simon and I. The reason we made changes at the end of last year is we talked about our dumb tax, and we came to agree with what we would do to move forward to avoid more dumb tax. And that's just what we do. And we're the same as the twins. We pass each other all the time, but we didn't make enough time to actually get to the bottom of what we believed the problem was, what Simon believed the problem was, and what I believed the problem was with us as a couple, but us as a business, you know? And so the answer is often not that complicated. And if we stop and listen to our heart and listen to our body, then we avoid dumb tax. And that's what I wanted you to take away from this meeting. Right? What about the twins? Do you want to share what your dumb tax? And then Warwick, you're next, or one goes first. Thanks, Liv. Thanks, Mel.
I think one of our dumb taxes was not doing our due diligence with some of our suppliers.
Okay.
So we took on some brands that a brand in particular that maybe wasn't the best fit, and they weren't ready to expand. Cost us a little bit of money, but in the end it was probably a headache and a lot of headache. Yeah. So we know better now.
So you could have avoided that by doing a little bit more critical thinking. Would that been even the solution, do you think?
Yeah, maybe just like checking with a few other people first, just doing a bit more research.
Yeah, checking in with our support network to see if anyone's kind of taken on what to look out for, kind of when taking on a new brand, and like, are there questions that we should have asked that we absolutely didn't, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Because you get caught up in the excitement and the energy of it, don't you? You know, and I think like having a cooling off period. And I struggle a little bit with clients because I know that if they do the work, they're going to succeed, but I don't know if they're going to do the work, right? So I think for me, I'm trying to manage in my business. How do I get someone in and give them a time to cool off and piss off? Because if they're not going to do it, then go, right? Rather than me capturing them and going, hang on a minute, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing it? So for me, it's about, like you've just said, is having more gates. Get through this gate, get through this gate. So I'm going to stress test them more before I allow them to come in. And I say, you have to promise this, you have to promise that. And if that makes them go, oh, I don't think I can, then they'll run away. And that's probably a better thing. One, I won't get them for 6 months, and then I'm going to spend all my time or Jess's time chasing them. So the same could be said for you. If you're ever going to take on, and that gives me a thought, Jess can write it down, but it gives me a thought to, how do you test that the product company you're working with is the right one? And how would you stress test if you took on a new one? So that could be a document that I could make. There could be a training that I could help you. Does that make sense? Is that nod if you think that would be good? Because I think I'm fascinated sometimes that people have been with one company for 30 years and I think, mate, your rep's a dickhead, right? Or, you know, and you're going, well, they don't have this one and they don't have that in their range. I'm thinking, why are you still with them? But that comes down to what Emma said, is she's paying for things that she doesn't want to, like it's really hard for her to break up with someone. Yeah, guilty of that one too, right? So I think, well, we've got to get past that, right? And that's where it comes under, it's not personal, it's business. And so you've got to ask yourself, am I doing it properly, or is this the wrong fit? Right? So when I get someone in a headlock and I go, hang on a minute, you're not doing my program properly. So don't tell me you're running away. Go. But you haven't done it properly. So for me, to get them to admit in the beginning, to say, what's properly? What can you do? And that's why this year I've decided to pull back the 25 hours. If you don't want to do less hours on the floor, then I can't coach you, because you're never going to have time for me and you're never going to grow, and then it's going to be a waste of your money. So let's just be honest about that up front. But that's taken me years to get there, right? So it's a bit like you interviewing clients. Like, is this client, a one-off haircut? And if she is, then that's okay. But what you're really looking for is ongoing clients. So when you get to the stage when your books are full on that capacity, then it's almost like you'll interview a client, right? Rather than I'll just do everyone who drops in my chair, because we do. But when you get to a higher end, Evel, you'll say, I can only look after 104 clients and one just moved overseas, so I've got a position for an ongoing client. Like, how good would that be to have a skin client like that? And in particular, I think that would work really well in skin, right? So they're lucky. I just got a position as a client at the Skin Solutions. How lucky am I? I've changed that dialogue rather than I'll do anyone who pops into my chair. So if you're a balayage client, you go, we have this many balayage clients and this is how many we look after. The same as me, I want to cap my program. And when one of you leaves, I can put someone else in. That's it. Rather than I'll look after anyone and anything. That's how we all started our business. You want a haircut? Good, come in. You want something done? Good, come in. You're not a really good client. You're not a really good fit, but I'm so excited and desperate, I'll do anyone. Been there. We've all been there. But as we graduate and get better, we go, no, I know what my client looks like, and I don't reckon you're my client. Right? Makes sense, huh? Who else? Warwick, he's already unmuted. Go, handsome.
Thank you. Yeah, related to everything said, Anna put it very well. I think everything, if I broke it right down, everything comes down to two things. It's putting others before myself, and procrastination. But again, procrastination is the same thing, that I want to do that to impress, or I want to buy a whole pile of stock that's great because the staff will sell it, they'll do really well. But I'm putting too much out there, and so you go, what do I really want? And like what you said with clients, then I just have to say, well, I'm closing my books to whatever clients. So I can do so many. I'm working towards a 24-hour week. that's the plan. So I have to start implementing that and get everything in practice. But I'm putting everyone else in my life historically. Look, my whole life it's the same patterning. People pleasing, basically, putting people ahead of you so that they will like you and accept you and validate you. And I go, well, hang on, that's up to me to do, not everybody else. So I take that responsibility on, and it's good. It's liberating.
Yeah, so good. And the Mel Robbins has got a podcast which explains the let them theory, and it talks about the control of can you control if people like you. It's absolutely gold. I listened to it last night. And it's the short version of the book and what the book does. And so let them show you their behavior, right? And that way then you can let me decide. So and I said a classic example is if you've got someone who's often late to work and you text them a reminder to be early tomorrow, or your reminder to bring your Tupperware dish back, or your reminder to bring the workbook back, or reminder to get those two models for the training, and you remind her, then you're not letting her fail, right? And when you do that, you kind of keep them afloat. But if you let her go and you don't mention, remember to get clients, don't forget to be on work on Friday because we're doing a photo shoot. Don't forget your makeup. When you do that, then you don't let them really be who they are, and then they don't show you their true behavior, right? So let them muck it up, let them not get the things, let them, make mistakes, and then you can that's the second part of it, let you decide whether she should be on your team. But what I've been guilty of is helping people instead of going, let them fail. Let them not show up to my meeting. Let them not do that. Let them not do the homework, and then go, well, how's that fucking working for you, love? So then let me delete you as a client and let me replace you with someone who actually is going to listen to my training and do the work. But in the past, I've been too much at, did you remember to do this? And reminding people, and it doesn't work, right? Is that the YouTube on the Mel Robbins, Jess, that she's put in? Yeah. So that's a shorter version, so watch that. But it's really about a girl, and I don't know the girl, but she sounds like she's famous. She did a podcast with this girl, and she had this really huge people-pleasing behaviour, and she must be famous. I have to look up her name. But she was shocked that she had that, and it came from her childhood, the people-pleasing. That's where all that people-pleasing comes from. And what she was explained to her, that she has no control over what you think of me. Right? It's the same way as I don't have any control over what you think of me, but I can try and behave in a way that I know you'll like me. And that might be that I might praise you, I might, bend over backwards, that you like me. Get over it. They don't like me. I don't need you to like me. I want you to respect the job that I'm doing. There's a big difference, right? And the same in your business. You don't need to like your team members, but you need to respect your team members. And they don't need to like you, but they need to respect you. There's a huge difference with like and respect, right? And I think once I let go of the like me or don't, and anyone who's watched my journey on social media, now I give a lot less fucks about who likes me. I don't care. Just sort yourself out, right? And if you think I'm oversharing or talking too much, good, piss off. But it really allows you to be you. And then what happens is you really attract the right clients. Like a classic example of this was, I thought that if I interviewed people on the podcast, then the people on the podcast, that's what people wanted. And then Simon's been saying to me, no, they just want to listen to you. I think, who wants to listen to me? And the amount of people that inbox me and go, love your podcasts, Lisa, lately. And I'm thinking, it's just me yakking away. But it's just me being me. And I thought, oh, that's fascinating. But I'm certain that people will have dropped off. They go, no, I don't want to listen to her. Good. But those who do, right? So you find a more authentic audience, the same as you in your salon. You might think, oh, I want to do that, this service and that service, because some people want that and some people that. No, do what you want to do and then attract the right. So if you really want to do that service, then stop doing the pedicures if you don't like them, and accept that some people won't like your business because you won't do a pedicure. Done. Does that make sense? But what happens is then you start doing the services that you love all day. And that's what brings you joy. Instead of going, oh, shit, I've got to do a pedicure. Shit, I've got to do a kid's haircut. Bloody hate kids' haircuts. Let them go. Don't do them. And then people go, oh, I'm not going to that salon because she won't cut my kids' hair. Good. Go somewhere where they'll cut it, but they don't do kids. Does that make sense? So when you sit with and be really authentic about what you want to be known for, and generally what you want to be known for is the service that you love to do. And that kills that people pleaser. So please listen to that because it's really cool, especially you, Em, if you're a people pleaser and you get stuck into relationships. So do the homework on where have you been stuck? Where have you been doing? Like my friend Andrew Griffith pays a cleaner to clean after his cleaner because he can't let her go. Fascinating. Oh, Frankie and Grace, I watched that series, and they've got a person in their office, and she's about 108, and she's the worst receptionist in the world, but they keep her there because she's been there for 30 years. Fascinating. All right, so we've got to wind up because I have to leave early today because someone's got this meeting room, so they're kicking me out. Great meeting, guys. Great meeting. Dumb tax. Just keep it there. Just learn about it. Me, you, everybody. It's a forever project. So thank you very much. And what do you mean? Oh, Simon's yelling at. Okay. I know. Go away. Oh, I hate it when the boyfriend steps in. Unmute yourself, everybody, because we've got to say, my name is Lisa Conway. We're going to say it. 1, 2, 3. My name
is
Emma, and only good things happen to me.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Things happen to me.
Thanks, Lisa. Bye.
Bye.